Am I on? I'm on. Okay, everybody, I think we're about set, maybe one or two to come in. Chris coming in? Okay, no problem. Brilliant. Well, here we are. Can't believe it's here, but it is. Beautiful to see so many people in the same room together. I think 4 years ago, we ran an event like this here at the IB offices. It was a huge success, and we've planned to do it 12 months later, and this thing called COVID got in the way. So, yeah, unfortunately, we weren't able to do that, but we're here today, and we're blessed with a fantastic agenda ahead of us. I really do think it's going to be very insightful, very provocative as well for us. And I think most of all, what we've tried to do with the agenda is make it very collaborative, so very interactive. We want you to join in with today. I know it's a big room, and that feels a little bit daunting. I know that because I'm up on stage. So, but we've tried to break it down and make it sort of a bit more discussion and thought-provoking than it is just presenting all day long. So you'll be relieved to know that we start with a couple of presentations in the morning, and then it is really about open discussion going forward. So thank you for joining us today, whether you're online or whether you're in the room here with us at Cardiff. I think it's an interesting subject, and I was just saying to Richard, I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning because my hotel room was a bit too hot. And I turned on the news, and what was on the news? AI in Paris. Lots of people debating and discussing whether or not they agreed or disagreed. And I think today is going to be really about us starting to think about the ethical authenticity of AI in the assessment space. So if you remember anything today, it's that strapline that I want us to take forward, really. I've got to do a couple of boring bits to start with, which most of you in the room who know me well know that's not my style. So I'm going to try and make it as interactive and fun as possible. I've got to remember to click as well. I have the worst habit in the world of presenting and forgetting to click my slides forward, so I will do my best to do that. But we have some housekeeping rules. There are no fire alarms planned here today. So if a fire alarm does go off, it's real, it's authentic. We need to make our way graciously out of the doors that we came in and then veer through reception into the car park area, and we'll be guided to where we need to go. Hopefully that's not going to happen. We have plenty of breaks built into the agenda today, so an opportunity for us to do some socializing, some mingling, some discussion of what we've heard throughout the day. We have an opportunity to catch up via some drinks after the event has concluded as well, so I encourage you to stay the whole day, be interested, be inquisitive, ask questions and engage with colleagues on what is a very fascinating and interesting subject. The restrooms are in reception area, so as you came in through the reception desk, the restrooms are simply just on your left-hand side. What I will ask is that anyone who has a mobile with them turns it to silent so that the presenters are not interrupted as they are in flow. The Village Green area, which is the area that you will have come into to register and collect your name badge, is where we are going to host our drinks and also have our breaks and lunch period. And then the important thing is the car park barrier does close at 7 p.m. So we'll be locked in here if we go past that point in time. And Matt's nodding. So a good tip to say that if it's 5 to 7, let's all scramble out because we do need to exit. Matt, I want to thank you and the team for hosting us here at the IB offices. This is the second event, as I've mentioned, that we've hosted here. This is just such a fantastic facility, and we are privileged to be able to host here today. And this event is designed for us to be a collaborative audience. So we really do want you to join in and participate. And whether you're an existing customer of RM or somebody that is inquisitive about the AI subject, then this is the perfect opportunity for us to all learn more together and establish how we want to work with AI and introduce AI into education and assessment moving forward. So on that basis, we have a packed agenda, and in a moment or two, you'll be delighted to know that I will hand over to Dr. Gráinne Watson and Dr. Matt Glanville to do an introduction to RM and the IB. They will set the scene for the day ahead. We have then got some panel experts. So Tom, who is right here, give a wave, Tom, thank you, who's going to do an introduction for us into the insight of AI within the assessment world. We're then going to get a bit interactive, and we're going to get some people up on stage. They are here in the front desk here. So they're going to come up on stage, and then our panel experts are here who will dialogue with our customer panelists. And that is really an opportunity for all of us in this room and all of us who are online to interact with the subject of AI and how we want to move forward. We're then going to step into a coffee break area. And again, I urge you to sort of collaborate together, mingle together. And then we're going to move into a subject that is super, super important about the EU AI Act, and basically we're going to ask one of our guest speakers to come up and talk to us about his specialist knowledge. What he did say to me is there's a big debate going on today that is live and active, so that's a very, it's a key sign that this is a very progressive subject and certainly something that is hot on the minds of all of us. And then I will ask Dr. Gráinne Watson to step up on stage and reveal the outputs of some proof of concepts that RM have been developing and running over the last 2 or 3 months. So really interesting, really insightful evidence of where AI can support and how we might want to think about that as we move forward. We'll then step into a lunch break, and then this afternoon sessions are really all about interactive. They're about roundtables. They're about discussing and collaborating on the benefits, the risks, the opportunities that we want to discuss together, and then how we want to progress those forward. We'll then move into more of a RM roadmap and what RM is developing for the future of assessment moving forward. And then I will ask our CEO, Mark Cook, to step up and deliver some closing remarks. And then we will wrap up for the day and socialise with some drinks and discussion. So hopefully that's interesting. Hopefully that strikes a chord with why you wanted to come here today. So excited to see so many people in this room today. It is beautiful to see you all here. And I know we've got people online from Australia, from New Zealand, from the Caribbean, from Europe. So we really have a cultural and worldwide global event here. So that is super, super, super exciting. I will pause there. And I am now going to hand the stage over to Gráinne, who is going to come up and do an RM welcome. So thank you, Gráinne.
You don't need the clap, no. Morning, everybody. I'm going to keep this really short. I'm clicking, right? I'm clicking. So I wanted to briefly talk to you about who we are. For those of you who don't know, most of you do know, but for those of you who don't know, we're a global leader in platform delivery of assessments. That's why this is really important to us, particularly looking quite early at how AI is going to work. So there are 3 things that I really wanted you to think about today, which are the questions on the right-hand side for you. And as Kieron said, this is supposed to be collaborative. So if you could be thinking about these 3 the whole day that we're talking, that would be great. Because we are a community in assessment, and we are going to have to collaborate to figure out how we are going to bring this to everybody who we support. So whether you're a learner, whether you're an accreditor, it's going to be really important that we agree on the way we're going to do this, and then we keep to that. If there's any way of getting this through to it being what we all want it to be, which is something that works for everybody. So the collaboration point is really important. And then similarly, and based off of that, how can we define our key outcomes? What is it that we need to achieve here? So what I will talk about later is what we thought we needed to achieve for marking. And we built a marking engine that we believe is going to do that, and we're quite pleased with. But what are the big outcomes that you want to achieve, and how can we collaborate on getting you there? That is going to be as important. Any technology, irrespective of what it is, you need to define your outcome. Because if you don't, it's going to be a really bumpy road to try and get to somewhere. You might get somewhere, it might not be where you want it to get. And that's the bit that we need to remember. And then the last one, again, you will hear collaborate a lot today, It's how we can collaborate effectively to reach those goals. So I'm going to introduce Matt, who we have collaborated with for a really long time, and particularly with the IB, and he's going to talk to you about basically what their approach is and about this lovely building that we're in. And you will see a lot more of me, I can only apologise for that, over the rest of the day. But we're really excited about this, we hope you are too, and we'll see where we end up at the end of the day. Thank you very much.
Hello there. Thank you all very, very much for coming to our IB office in Cardiff. I am particularly pleased, and the reason is that we've got a small stage here. Now, I've done quite a few presentations in this room, and I happen to know exactly where I stand is where there are squeaky floorboards. And so my colleagues have had to put on me sort of squeaking as I sort of move ever so slightly. So, thank you very much again for all those that have come here. Welcome to all those who are joining virtually. Now, the first thing I did when I was asked to do a few slides is thought, oh, what on earth am I going to say? I know, given the conference, I'll ask AI to produce me a slide to talk through what I'm going to say. And this is what it came up with. And I think fundamentally, it's got the key messages, hasn't it? It's about understanding how artificial intelligence can transform education. And I do want to encourage us to think about education as well as just assessment. The two are inextricably linked. All the good stuff about meeting peers and experts in the field, discussing those ideas, and building some lasting commitments and connections. So yes, please do all of these, but also just as you stare at that, think about what more as a human being you would have liked that first slide to say. Now, the International Baccalaureate has been thinking about artificial intelligence for quite some time. We came out quite early on when ChatGPT sort of burst onto the stage saying, don't be afraid, embrace it. It is here, don't pretend it's not. And more than anything else, we need to prepare our young people for a world in which these tools exist. We can't assume that they'll just pick this up through their day-to-day use. We need to be proactive in thinking about what the messages we want to tell our young people about. So the artificial intelligence is a wonderful repository of information. It's great, but it inherently has that strengths and limitations, the bias. It's not all the information's out there, it's the information it has scraped or taken from different sources, which themselves are biased. And one of the big opportunities we've got here is not just to teach students to be a critical observer of artificial intelligence feedback, but be a critical listener of all feedback. All information you receive, all messaging, including probably this speech, has its own biases that is trying to do things. But what else artificial intelligence can do, in combination with digital, because alas, paper isn't terribly interactive yet, is create more and exciting interactive assessment. I'm sure we'll talk about it over the course of the day about how it can perhaps support adaptive assessment, how it can reproduce some of those actions and activities that are already seen in the classroom. But also, we are mostly assessment or education organisations here. It can help us too. We're going to hear a little bit later about the opportunities of marking, and I'm delighted to see the word ethical in that presentation, because that's one of the key challenges I think we've got. It's about saying, where does it support our work well, and where do we need to be careful so it doesn't detract from what we offer? So, fundamentally then, What is it that the IB wants people to be talking about artificial intelligence? Be excited, not afraid. And the more we talk to our teachers, the more that message needs to reverberate with them. We've already had the wins with those teachers that are tech savvy and excited. We're now starting to deal with those who are a bit nervous and a bit worried and don't understand. So we can do more there. Students trying to get other people to do their work for them isn't new. As an IB and as providers, we've all dealt for many years with students getting their older brothers or sisters, their older cousins, anybody else to do it for them. What it has made, of course, in that academic integrity space is it much easier to do. If you pay somebody on the internet to write your essay, you've got to be pretty blind not to realise you're doing something wrong. If you're using a free chat tool, surely that can't be cheating. We need to make sure that we understand what ethical works looks like. And also that whole evolution of what jobs are going to look like. The way we use it today and the way we're going to use it tomorrow, which we can't really guess at yet, is going to mean we need different skills. But the most important message I would say is these last 2 points. Let's use AI to give ourselves more time to do the really important parts of our job. My boss is in the room? No, good. And let's avoid losing that ownership of the important parts of our job as well. It is a tool to help us. It shouldn't be a tool to replace the human beings. I'm afraid, who am I handing on to next? Dr. Tom.